Christopher de Santiago with Sports Illustrated's MMA Knockout, here today with UFC Featherweight Chepe Mariscal, who's 5-0 in the UFC and winner of his last 8 fights. Chepe, how's it going today, man?
Going great, man. How about you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I gotta ask you about the promotion, man. How good did it feel to get that black belt wrapped around your waist?
Man, it feels great, man. We went against another black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he obviously caught me on a sneaky calf slicer, but we got out. I even tried to get my own ankle lock, but yeah, man, I've been doing that, drilling nothing but Jiu-Jitsu and doing Jiu-Jitsu classes, and really working on it and just trying to perfect my game.
How did you prepare for his elbows? Because he was throwing a lot of them in there.
Yeah, what's crazy is at my church, there's a karate specialist that goes to my church, and I ended up contacting him and working with him. I actually brought him out for that fight to be in my corner that day, and he was giving me the similar looks, how the spin of the shoulders, when he exactly throws it. Obviously he landed a couple, but man, I was like mentally prepared and ready for what was to come.
Ricardo is a very creative fighter. The things that he like, was there things that he did in there well that you can take and implement into your own game?
Yeah, the spins for sure. That was it would be cool to land some spin attacks. It would be
Awesome.
cool to yeah, land some spin attacks and really, put that in my game, just to add it, get a bonus, or something, or a cool knockout. So it was all I'm doing is like learning more as I grow and trying to add more of these weapons to my game.
Walk me through the last 10 seconds of the fight because by that point you already had the fight won, but we already know about your kind of fighting style and what you bring to the table. Can you walk me through those last 10 seconds of that fight?
Yeah, trying to always get the finish. Anything that's gonna put a stamp on the round for me. Like that's why I try to blow up when try to get it, like even a 5 or 1 second knockout would be cool. So it's about adding a stamp to the win and showing the judges I was there to fight and become victorious.
Your fighting style has to be like one of the coolest I've seen in the UFC. When you punch, you don't just punch, you dig, you go for the kill. So I guess, and people say that you fight like Sean Strickland talks. So like, I guess, what do you fight from, if that makes sense?
Just natural reaction. It just however I feel the flow. The vibe. Sometimes I go southpaw, do some oblique kicks, some elbows, switch my stance, then I'm throwing, or I'm dirty boxing. I'm doing exactly what the game allows me to do. Like if I even had took down Ramos and had him in a good position, I would have tried my 12-6 elbows. Like anything that I'm allowed to do, I'll go out there and apply it, and make the fights fun.
Hmm. And I guess as you progress through your career, I believe you said it in your post-fight interview, like you're working on your IQ and stuff like that. How difficult is it to balance between fighting smart and fighting a little bit reckless or fighting a little bit aggressive? How do you kind of navigate that?
Just having the right people in my ear, my corners just knows me so well when I'm about to pull the trigger, and they're like patience, and putting those right words into that kind of like the mindset that I have, just so I the beast doesn't get too wild and I get caught or anything like that, or blow out my cardio, or you know uh so it's about like keeping me patient, keeping the stamina that I have, and really trying to go out there and even only apply it just to get my finishes. But we're working on that, obviously.
Do you see your like tenacity in other fighters or like is there fighters that you see yourself in like Justin Gagey or Dustin Poirier can you name a few fighters that are kind of similar?
So Marab is one that I consistently look at his fights and the way he pushes pressure. Bilal Muhammad, Curtis Blades, a lot of guys that just apply that forward pressure. Khabib, Islam. Like Islam, he got more interesting because he's a southpaw. So I'm like trying to steal things from both stance and how I could do entries, just adding everything, every wonder to my game.
Awesome, Chepe. And I guess like with 8 fights in a row for you, 8 wins in a row, I mean, you got to be thinking maybe UFC main event spot, maybe 5 rounds. Have you thought about how your style kind of translates into those 5 rounds?
Yeah, for sure. Like, to be honest with you, I spar like 5 to 8 rounds, every time I spar. So it's obviously more than 5 rounds. But I'm always like working for the 5 round fights and the championship rounds, and just always working towards that. I'm excited. As you can see, my last fight, I was more calculated. I was more calm. I didn't look tired at all. I didn't feel tired. Like I felt great. Like right now, like I'm still training. I'm still doing things. The body feels great. I thought I broke my hand with my fingers on one of the punch. We got that X-rayed. I'm good. So it's like, man, like I'm just trying to keep busy and consistent right now as my game. I mean, my body's still intact.
The UFC featherweight division is like right for the taking. Ilya left, vacant titles on the line. I guess what do you make of this current landscape of the division right now?
It's awesome, man. I just like the mix. And they're adding more guys. Like we got Pitbull in now. Aljamain is there. We don't know if Max Holloway is gonna come back down. We just don't know. It's that's what I love about the weight class right now. There's nobody knows who's gonna be champ. Like Volk versus Lopez, such a great fight. But we just don't know who's gonna be champ and if they're gonna be able to keep the belt. Like it. What if the Russian comes out wins, or I come in, like, or other fighters. Like I'm just excited to where the weight class you could see there's like a lot more legends and more names, more fire, more competitors. So it just gives me excitement, and I just can't wait.
Most definitely, man. And you said in the post-fight interview you wanted like a full training camp, 2 to 3 months. Ideally, is there any names that make sense for you at this point of your career?
Well, anybody that's ranked. So I called out like Josh Emmett and stuff like that. Like the scariest guy in the weight class. But like that's my point of like doing in this game. Like I want to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. Like anybody that's gonna be in the rankings right now. Who's I beat that guy. I want to beat obviously the next guy who's in that hole of that rankings, who's not matched up, and obviously not say no to anybody. Like I want to beat all those dudes. So when I do get a title run or I do get the title, nobody could ever say, "Well, that guy said no to that guy." You get me?
Awesome, Chepe. And I think that's all the questions I have for you, man. I just want to thank you again for the time. I know you have a lot of fans out there watching, man. What do you want to say to them out there?
Man, get on the train, man. Where it's moving. I appreciate all the support. Anybody that's a Chepe fan is a friend of mine. So, man, I just can't wait to look forward to getting more wins and making you guys more proud.